Yeah, we're back.
Gardens is in Miami.
Come
I'm
on.
curious if it's in the exact same area. Well,
Yeah, we'll go from where we left it.
it was just a bunch of teens. Now, some were claiming it was 10 or 8 foot tall, and they didn't say aliens. They said dark figures. And actually, here's a picture of what it may. One of them. This is one of the pictures they're claiming is it. So actually, that's interesting that they pulled up this picture here.
Hey, Johnny, hi, Di.
Because I was wondering where this picture came from. I saw it earlier, and I was like, "Where did that picture come from?"
The camera's been dropping out a lot lately, so I checked the socket and it's very loose. So I put it on the right hand side so it shouldn't happen anymore because it fits in really snug. I got a cheap laptop. I should have got a better one.
Because I wanted to kind of vet it a little bit, right?
Hey, boss. Welcome
That's
back, mate.
curious. It's even in one of a more official news outlets putting out this picture, so that's kind of curious. I don't know what to make of that, but perhaps that is from the scene. I don't know. They're claiming it is, so if it is, that is interesting. I mean, we don't have any size comparison to really make of what this is. It does look strange. It doesn't look like a human, really. So that's interesting. But let's get into some of this. So there's a lot of things to cover in this, folks. Yeah, here's the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy I was talking about earlier. So this is the guy here that was saying that he started running as soon as he saw everyone else running, even old ladies and stuff. He's like, "Oh, there must be something really big going on if there's old ladies running, like full speed, full tilt. Granny's running full tilt, folks. You know something big's going on when Granny's running full tilt, right? You got old ladies running as fast as they can. You know what I mean? That's kind of funny, actually. So he said that he's the one that said that he looked behind him and he saw this dark, shadowy thing. But he said it looked solid. It didn't look like you could see through it, but it kept reappearing. It would disappear and reappear. Now, like I said, there was a guy who said, there's so many things. Maybe I'll show this first. This is interesting. This is another thing I was seeing.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is kind of interesting as well. I don't know. A number of things have been going on in Florida recent. Check this out. Let's see if I can get on. I don't know if this is the right or the best. No, I got so many different. Let's just do this one. All right, let's play this. You can see this light here. It's just moving up. What is that? It's obviously not the sun. It's you may wonder what that could be. What is that? The guy wipes off his camera to make sure it's not just some lens flare. It's nighttime, folks. What is that? It's not the moon. It's not the sun. Look, it just disappeared. What is that? Right? So that was something I was seeing.
Okay, the camera's glaring.
Now they are, of course, unfortunately, a lot of these are grainy footage. And the reason why this one's grainy, I saw the original. It's because the guy. My goodness, it's because people don't know how to use technology, folks. It simply comes down to that. This guy was using a camera to film what was on his already phone. So he's filming a home. That's why it's so blurry. You know what I mean? Like, you can see here people running. So let me just establish this part. You can see this guy here's running. See? Running. Okay? Very obviously running. Let's back this up. There was something seen. Now, this is right outside the mall. So they were literally running out of the mall. Now, there's something that was seen over here. It looks like a flickering light.
Amen.
But, I mean, I don't know if anybody. Okay, so if you were presenting fake evidence, you would try to put out some really eye candy stuff that looked great. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. You wouldn't put out second rate stuff like this.
And you would it would be something that would be like so, oh, this is kind of like fool's gold. This case, the guy's got very little to show, but he's emphatic on that. This is it, man. This is this is shows the lights flickering and this weird aura thing going on in the mall. You can see here some weird black stuff over here, and it's kind of like the lights acting strange over there. Unfortunately, TikTok's got these goofy arrows here, which are exactly in the way. You can see here this weird shadow stuff going on. Obviously, the guy needs to know how to use a phone properly. You should just download the video and then upload it rather than trying to take a camera on your phone or something. That's why we get grainy footage every time, folks. It's because people don't know how to use technology. So, at any rate, that's supposed to be what this other guy's talking about. Apparently, this guy here said he was there. Let's see if we can get it on there right. Okay, there we go. And he's an artist, and he's drawing out what he saw. And maybe I should just play this. It's really strange what he says. I mean, it's strange, folks. Let me just play some of this.
And they had this little fucking box, like a little DVD player type thing, right? And they were like, yeah, watch, go ahead. And there was a whole bunch of them. They looked all nerdy. They weren't like thugged out. They all dressed nice and shit or whatever, but.
What?
Let me just say it myself, folks. I could tell the guys it's not the best audio either. So basically, he sees a number of teens. They're well dressed. They're kind of nerdy looking. They're carrying some sort of device. They bring it into the mall. They plug it in inside the mall. I think from what I could tell from what he said.
But the point is, they done that in Vegas. They done that in Miami. They attacked the village in Peru. They're actually hitting the ground, and they're not hiding anymore. They're getting filmed. So this is just going to get more and more prevalent.
The food court. It's sort of like a food court that's sort of in the center of the mall, and there's multiple levels so you can look down on it. He's on a higher level looking down on what they're doing. He says they plug this thing in, and then the lights in the mall start flickering. And this thing starts having like some sort of like...
Okay, we wondered why the power went down, guys. These guys plugged something into the power network. Wow, we're getting answers.
Like a bubble forming around it, like some sort of weird electrical interference bubble growing around this thing that they plugged in. It starts glowing. I'm just telling you what the guy said. I'm not saying it's true. And then he says it starts glowing, and then he sees something step out of this bubble. It's like first you see a black leg stepping out, and then you see a black arm coming out, and then a head, and then this thing steps out into apparently the mall, and that's when everyone starts running. And this thing was like 8 or 10 foot. This is what the guy's saying. And this other video allegedly is of that happening. This video I showed you earlier, or showed you, it stills up earlier. This guy's trying to draw out what he saw. And this is allegedly how it all started, according to the story. Okay, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just telling you what they said. And it kind of sounded like a sci-fi, movie or something. Like literally the Sci-Fi Channel type of movie. You know what I mean? It sounds like something the Sci-Fi Channel would make.
Twilight Zone.
But it could be. I don't know what's going on here. We've seen all this bizarre stuff over the last year or two. Who knows, man? Honestly, I don't know what to believe anymore. But the fact of the matter is, so he says that it starts coming out of this bubble, this like electrical interference bubble or whatever it is, some sort of maybe portal, whatever you want to call it. It comes out of this and it starts looking at everybody and observing them and watching them and staring at them. And then it starts going after people, and then they're running. And this is apparently when this other guy, and assuming all these stories are even true, which, maybe they're not, that's when this guy says he starts seeing people running, so he starts joining in, and then he claims that this thing's behind him. So that's kind of tying all these stories together. I'm not saying they're true, but it is interesting. This lady, and I can't show it because it's so blurry and I can hardly read it myself. You won't be able to read it at all. 61,000 homes without power.
Boss, I've got your one coming up, mate. I'm pretty sure I have.
At the time this all occurred, some lady captured it on her phone. And I think this is probably the fourth video showing it. So if I show it, it'll be just like a blur on the screen. You won't even see it. But that's how this stuff works, folks. You got to find the originals. I can't find the original. I don't want to spend time to find it. But so you get the idea. So power was out. So I found an official story claiming power out in that area. I found a screenshot from someone's phone showing 61,000 homes without power at the time this all occurred. This is also another video that's going out around. This is the best footage I could fit, the most clear footage I could find. I don't think this is what they claim it is. They claim that this is some object, some being walking around in front of the cops. So the cops, I don't think, saw anything, folks. That's why you'll see if they, let's just, we don't know if this is true or not. This could be completely not true. But I mean, if it was true, I don't think the cops really saw anything. And the reason why is, for one, you have this here. These beings at a Miami mall, police say LOL, ha ha ha, right? Because maybe they didn't even see anything. Maybe it was already gone by the time they arrived. I don't know. 100 cops show up. They usually arrive late anyways. I remember one time I saw something happen, and then like literally it was like an hour later the cops showed up. I'm like, bro, good job, dude. Wow, they already left 30 minutes ago. You know, it's like all over. It's done, man. Why do you take so long to arrive? You know what I mean? It's just kind of funny like how that works. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna show. Oh yeah, this footage here is when the cop cars are already arrived. And actually, I'll tell you what this is. It's probably just 3 people walking. This is all the other.
Post it again, Bas, and I'll see if I can load it.
People show a very blurry video of this. I'm going to show you a very clean, quality version of it. This is the cleanest I could find. Check this out. So you can see it's 3 people walking. 1, 2, 3, and you can see here's the cops walking. It's not one being walking around. It's 3 people walking. I don't think the cops probably even saw anything other than these teens. Apparently, there was, according to some, a fight with teens after this all occurred. Okay, and this is how people are describing it. Now, there also are other videos surfacing saying it was just a bunch of teens fighting and causing mayhem and fireworks. And this is sort of fits in with the official story. There's just teens, fireworks. And actually, there was, from what people are saying, there was a fight after this all occurred. After this whole beings thing, there was some, you know, teens afterwards having something going on. But I don't think this is actually legit, this video here. Now, it might be true that that's what all happened, but I kind of doubt it, because why would there be 100 cops? Why would you have 100 cops for 30 teens? It doesn't even make any sense. But this video here that they claim is from the event, I don't know if it is, because if you go do a search on Google for Miami malls and things like that, you'll find like lots of stories, a plethora of stories of teens like doing things like fighting at malls in Florida. Apparently it's a very commonplace weekend thing or something. I don't know. This I think this video is actually from a month ago or so. I don't think this is actually from what happened 5 or 6 days ago. So people are just throwing up videos like, oh, it's teens, oh, it's aliens, oh, it's this. And I'm like, you know, all these, I feel like these people don't do any research. They're just like really just quickly throwing something up so they can get views or something. I don't know. But there's other people. There's this guy here. He was there. He says they all seem to correlate pretty well. There's actually 3 guys. They're all pretty much correlating. Yeah, here we go. So here's someone else that wrote a comment. Of course, who knows? These people could just be making up comments. I mean, we don't even know what's true, because you got AI these days. I mean, you know what I mean? You could pretty much make up anything anymore. Was it at the Miami Mall yesterday, and the GOV is lying, folks. There were no kids fighting. Everyone just started panicking because they saw these creatures walking around. They didn't make any noises or sounds. They just stared and watched you move. He says he tried to make a video, but he has a 1X. What do you got? Like a camera from, what do you got? A phone from the night, like year 2000 or something, bro? A 1X, really? I'm like the worst with phones. And even I have phones better. Well, I just bought new phones, but even my old phones were way better than that, dude. Come on, man. 1X, really? Okay. And then you have this guy. This was really interesting as well, because this guy said there was just kids fighting, but then the reporter said that this guy being interviewed wasn't even there. So how would he even know what happened? Like, what? I don't know, man. It's just a lot of confusion. But it is something interesting I want to show you. This is at another mall. This is at a mall in China, allegedly. Now, we can just analyze this and figure out if this seems legit or if this is not. You can let me know what you think is as well. But again, same idea. Something opening up at a mall. This is in China. Now, I don't know if this is edited footage or not. So we'll just watch it and then we'll talk about it. All right. It looks like something opening up. Obviously, something happens right here, whether it's this light or something else that was there originally. These people are all freaking out. Obviously, it's not just some, people fighting, because you wouldn't be acting like that, falling over your chair. You're sitting in a chair, you don't fall out of your chair, dude, unless it's something pretty big. It ain't normal. Whatever happened here ain't normal. Whether it's this light that's showing here or something else happened here, it's not a normal thing that happened. It's clearly not just two people fighting or something dumb like that, right? So we know that at least. Now, whether this is real or if it was just added in, I don't know. But there was clearly something that happened right here that was not normal. You can see people walking up to it. Like, this is not, people don't act like this if it's just like people there. I mean, look, they're like cautious, like, whoa, what the?
Shawnee, they didn't harm anyone, but they did chase them.
Whoa, what's this? Clearly something was right there. Was it that thing that they showed on the screen? I don't know. But clearly it wasn't normal, whatever it was. And people falling out of their chair. You're sitting down, you don't fall out of your chair while you're sitting down, unless, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something different happening, folks, for that to happen. And that was in China, a mall. So that's strange. Whether or not it was the lights they showed there on the screen, it was clearly something very strange that happened in a mall. And it wasn't normal, whatever it was. So I tend to believe that they definitely saw something, and I don't think they would have just erased people. So maybe that's actually what they saw. I don't know, or maybe they kind of made it look better. Like maybe it didn't show much; it just showed a little bit of light, and then they just like added to it or something. It could be that too. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but anyway, so I'm just talking about a lot of the stuff that happened with this whole thing, and let's see what else. Is there anything else?
Oh, wrong way.
So also, like I said, they just arrested 4 people, and it was fireworks, folks. Fireworks. Sorry for shutting the power off to 61,000 homes in the mall. Sorry for bringing 100 cops out for no reason. And also, by the way, we're not going to charge all these people that caused this ruckus for us wasting so much city dollars bringing all these people out here. We're not going to do that. We're not upset about this as the cops. We're just laughing. LOL. Wasn't any beings. Completely ignore that. All right. So, pardon my sarcasm, but so like I said, so you have option A. It was just teens, which doesn't seem to make sense with the situation. Option B, beings showed up, which sounds very fantastical, but who knows these days? Never know. Or option C, some sort of hybrid of all these topics. I don't know. But I'm kind of wondering what some of you guys think about all this. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.
Hang on, where is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, where is it? I can't find the one you posted. Vass, I can't find the one you posted. Oh, there it is. Found it.
Happened. My brother, we look behind us, and then we see these 3. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Fitz. I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. My brother, we look behind us, and then we see these 3 9-10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. None of us really knew. Everyone all of us stopped in our track. We, you know, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. I mean, there were other people running. Um, you know, there was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, um, it looked like it was glitching, not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And whatever maybe was covering them had, you know, unveiled or whatever.
Glitchy. See, it affects the electrical system.
Yeah, it looked like a glitch, man. Like a weird glitch in the matrix or whatever. And then you could see it in its full form, all three of them. And then you know, they were all black. You saw eyes, and you could faintly see like lips. But yeah, I was about like 20 feet away, because obviously everybody gave it distance, right? And you know, they're tall, so we all just like looked at them. They were just standing there, and the thing that was a little bit weird, well, it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient, right? Like whatever. I mean, I don't know, but it was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd, and then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, like kind of like it started like almost glitching again. We all ran. My brother like immediately said, "Yo, let's go." He grabbed me by the shoulder. We bolted out of there. And for anyone that's like saying, you know, where's the footage? Where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage, and I'll explain why. Because like when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It's it was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch. Hey guys, what's going on? This is just a part 2 for the previous video that I did yesterday, last night. So basically, this was a clip that it's the only clip that we actually had. I told you guys in the last video the cops stopped us, and they basically, you know, tried to delete whatever. But apparently, I talked to my brother last night. He took this clip. He was trying to record, but then he stopped because he realized, you know, this is not probably the time for that. But he found this in the recycle bin, or photos out of the trash of his photo album or whatever. But yeah, so this is literally all we have. If anyone else has any clips, please upload them. I'll definitely, you know, I'll know which one's real because we were there. Bro. Everyone's going this way. Yo, what is that?
Wow, look at that. They're twice as tall as those around them. What are we seeing?
So we thought we heard gunshots, but it turns out that was actually fireworks. But either way, that caused everybody to start rushing for the doors. People was leaving stuff behind. I mean, just dragging their kids. It was just complete fucking chaos, man. Anyway, so as we running, we look back and we noticed some weird shapes taller than me. I'm 6'2", shadowy, dark, solid shapes, not human. I promise you, these is not human. I mean, it made the hair stand up on my skin. And shit, we just booked it for the doors after that, man. I can't explain what that was. I can't say that was aliens, but I can say that was not human. It was not human. And they online, I don't know if they're trying to cover this stuff up, but they saying that it was police officers and somebody, not shadowy figures. It's 2024, man. It's something going on. There's something going on, and they trying to cover it up. A lot of people saw what I saw, and like I said, it was so much chaos ensued that it was just hard to let that sink in, that we was realizing what we're looking at. I mean, it's something you can never even create in your head in a dream. I'm putting this out there though, man, because I want people to know that this stuff is real. Get get this out and spread this. And if you were a person that was there and you saw what I saw, please put this video out because they're trying to cover this stuff up, man.
It's really aliens. And I cannot believe that the Miami Police Department is really going to try to make it seem like they had all those police cars and stuff out there over some kids fighting, y'all. We talking about 3 or 4 blocks. Aliens are real. It was 3 of them. And we couldn't believe it. They tried to actually take my cell phone footage. You know what I'm saying? I showed them that thinking that I'm helping the world. They trying to delete it.
You can kind of see its form. Now watch.
Okay.
It literally walks. And
Wow,
it's
it's half as tall as a palm tree.
Watch right here. You can see something really tall and kind of translucent. Now here, I'm going to back it up so you can slowly see it. You see how tall that is? And it's walking in front. Right there.
They're not even bothering to hide anymore, guys. That's very concerning.
You see it. And then it kind of disappears into the darkness.
They told me that they saw a creature, I know it sounds ridiculous, 7 feet tall, walking around. I was like, this is insane. So I'm like, this person's crazy. I go and talk to another woman who's there in a state of actual panic, and she tells me that she saw something out of a movie. She said it looked like Alien from the Alien film in the 1980s, I think she said it was. It's insane. So I get out my phone, right? Because I want to film this and I want to get these interviews for you guys because no one's going to believe what happened. And so I get out my phone and I start recording. The police come running over to me and they take my phone and make me delete the couple seconds that I recorded. And then they ushered me along.
My dad's a police officer in Miami. And I mean, like, he's even running for sheriff. And I just talked to him. He didn't say anything about that. Hey, did you, have you been seeing the alien stuff? Did you see that at Bayside? Are you serious?
Wow.
You're joking. You're joking.
Wow, that's his
Did they
dad.
tell you not to talk about it?
Shawnee, people fled in fear. These aliens caused extreme fear in the people. So they did do harm.
They put the coordinates in backwards. They reversed them. Listen, y'all, listen. The Miami incident, right? At the mall. I was watching one of the victims, and he said that it seemed like a portal opened up, and all of a sudden these beings just came through. So it got me thinking, well, where did they come from? Well, they had to come through a portal. So just for shiggles, I went to Google Earth, went to the mall, got the coordinates, flip-flopped the coordinates, put that in Google Earth, and just to see where it would take me, it took me to the center of Antarctica.
No
Do you remember what I was
way.
talking about?
Wow.
How there's an alien civilization in Antarctica living under that ice. Do y'all remember that? Because if not, let me remind you, there's supposedly a alien race living in Antarctica. And if they were trying to go to this alien base,
Hi,
in
Barry.
Antarctica,
Wow.
they set
Hey.
off the coordinates and ended up at the fucking mall in Miami.
Wow, that was stunning.
Tastes like true love. Only a bit naughtier. Yeah, it's that good. Taco Bell. Live Mars. Give me one drop of I wanna tell it with you.
We must turn to the Quran. The appearance of the in Mecca during the Hajj, a giant snake suddenly appears. causing terror among Muslims. This surprising occurrence prompts religious people to question its significance and whether it is a warning from Jesus, who is also considered a prophet in Islam. Is there a hidden mystery behind this strange phenomenon? To find answers, we must turn to the Quran.
Yeah, I wonder what inspired her to reverse the coordinates.
The appearance of the giant snake near the Holy Kaaba during the Hajj leaves people in the scene terrified and confused. It is unknown why this ancient snake has appeared. Interestingly, Jesus has given numerous signs as warnings for the beast and evil within the Kaaba. This includes the past example of a snake serving as a watchman for Allah, and a future prophecy of a beast serving as a messenger of Allah. However, it does not end there. We also discover that Allah empowers Satan, one of his ministers, to mislead mankind and accomplish his own purpose. This is evident in the Quranic verses, where Satan declares his intent to mislead everyone except the faithful and obedient believers of Islamic monotheism. It is astonishing to find Satan invoking Allah's name to carry out his cunning acts against those who do not submit to Allah. Historically, snakes have symbolized fertility, rebirth, transformation, immortality, and healing. However, in many scriptures, snakes are associated with evil and punishment. In the Bible, they are often depicted as loathsome creatures associated with poison and craftiness. Snakes have been associated with sin since Satan spoke through the serpent to Eve. In hadiths, it is even advised to kill all snakes, as they are believed to snatch away eyesight and cause harm. Despite these negative metaphors and meanings, the giant snake appeared.
Guys, I already posted this on the Facebook Muslim debate channels. I already posted this. They're not going to like it.
In Mecca's Kaaba raises questions about its symbolism and Allah's allowance of its presence. The Islamic sources reveal that the task of the beast is to distinguish believers from non-believers. With the staff of Prophet Moses, it will mark every believer's forehead, making their face bright and luminous. With the ring of Prophet Solomon, it will seal the nose of every non-believer, making their face black. This distinction will be clear between Muslims and non-Muslims, even if they sit together at a dinner table. Abu Hur Musnad Ahmad distinguishes between Muslims and non-Muslims by describing a massive creature that will emerge from the earth. This creature, unlike any human, will have the power to stamp believers with the word believer on their foreheads and stamp non-Muslims with the word sifir on their foreheads. The beast will also communicate with people and express disappointment in humanity's lack of faith in their revelations. Islamic sources state that the beast will appear 3 times during the end times, with its final appearance being the most significant. According to the Hadith by Tabani, the beast will emerge from the Grand Mosque at Mecca, making the Kaaba the throne of the beast. This perspective is supported by scholars like Imam Sis Tassira and Muhammad al-Barzanji. Before proceeding, let's test your knowledge with a question. What was the true reason Adam and Eve were banished from the Garden of Eden? The options are: Adam wanted to taste the fruit of life, Eve was hungry and ate the fruit, Eve was influenced by Satan and committed the act, or Adam and Eve had already eaten the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
C.
The correct answer is
C.
D, according to Genesis 3:22-23. Now, let's return to our discussion. It is clear that the beast is not only associated with Islam, but also with the holiest site of Islam, the Al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. Scholars of Islam propose an interesting theory that the beast is actually the snake that guarded the Kaaba in Mecca during pre-Islamic times. In the commentary Dinur by Al-Cbi, based on the authority of Ibn Abbas, it is explained that the snake was sent by Allah to guard the Kaaba after attempts to steal its gifts. The snake...
See how they march around the Kaaba anti-clockwise? I wonder if that's Allah's attempt to slow down the timeline, because in the end he's going to get thrown into the lake of fire. So I wonder if their anti-clockwise march is to slow down time.
Lived in a well inside the Kaaba for over 500 years. When the walls of the Kaaba weakened and part of it burned, the core decided to rebuild it. However, the snake prevented them from demolishing the Kaaba. Eventually, they prayed for Allah's permission to rebuild, and an eagle was sent to carry the snake away. This fourth opinion reveals that the most holy shrine of Allah, the Kaaba, was once guarded by a snake before the arrival of Islam. The Arab K tribe, who were pagans at the time, prayed to Allah for the restoration of the Kaaba and the removal of the snake, and their prayers were answered. This raises questions about Allah's nature and role as a deity. The pagans specifically called upon Allah as their deity, and Allah responded to their prayers by fulfilling their request to rebuild the pagan shrine. This suggests that Allah was considered a pagan deity by these people. Furthermore, it is puzzling why Allah would be pleased with the restoration of a pagan temple and the worship of idols, which were only destroyed later by Muhammad during the conquest of Mecca. The account also mentions that Allah sent the snake to guard the treasures of the pagan temple, the Kaaba. This raises the question of why Allah would want to protect the treasures of a temple associated with paganism. If you were to come across a place of worship guarded by a snake today, which religion would you associate it with? Would you think it is related to the monotheistic religions of Judaism and Christianity, or would you associate it with paganism? Now, let's consider the evidence from Islamic sources that confirm the Kaaba was indeed a pagan shrine before the advent of Islam. According to Sahih Bukhari, there were 360 idols around the Kaaba when the Prophet entered Mecca on the day of the conquest. The pre-Islamic Arabs traded their religion along with their goods, and about 400 years before Muhammad's birth, an idol called Hubal was placed on the roof of the Kaaba. This idol was worshipped by the Qais tribe. There were a total of 360 idols in and around the Kaaba, each tribe having its own deity. These idols were shaped according to the worshippers' preferences. Another idol called Shams was also placed on the roof of the Kaaba. Sacrificial animals brought by pilgrims were offered to these deities, and at times, even human beings were sacrificed. In addition to idol worship, they also worshipped stars, the sun, and the moon. Based on this evidence, it is evident that Allah was considered a pagan deity, as stated in Imam Albi's commentary. The pagans prayed to Allah, and He answered their prayers. In fact, Allah was just one among the many idol gods worshipped at the Kaaba. Another interesting fact is Muhammad's father's name, Abdullah, which means slave of Allah. If there were no Allah in pre-Islamic Arabia, there couldn't have been a slave of Allah. Abdullah was not a Muslim, but a pagan, yet he carried the name of...
Wow, that's a good point I'm going to use against the Muslims. How could his father be named Abdullah when there was no Muslims till Muhammad showed up? Wow, what a good pinch. Gee, I can't wait to use that.
Allah. This logically suggests that Allah must be a pagan deity. Allah was a pre-existing deity in pagan Arabia, who later became the god of Islam. The word Allah existed long before the words Muslim or Islam were coined. Now, let's turn our attention back to the topic of the beast mentioned in the Quran. According to Surah 2782, Allah's messenger is said to be a talking beast that will emerge from the earth. This beast is said to appear at the end times when many will abandon the religion of Allah. Allah will use this beast to separate the unbelievers from those who worship him, marking the unbelievers for destruction.
That's what God's going to do to you. He's just reversing it, guys. He's not going to put marks on us. God's going to put marks on him and his believers.
Beast will be a real creature that speaks Arabic. It is also known as the beast of the earth in Islamic eschatology. Considering the extraordinary nature of this account in the Quran, we have provided 3 different translations of the verses. The important points to remember are that the beast will speak in Arabic, the language of Allah and the Quran, and it will act as a messenger of Allah, speaking on his behalf. It is personally sent by Allah with a warning message. This message is directed towards those who do not believe in Jesus. It states that Jesus will come back to save humanity.
Yeah, they called that the Ark of Gabriel, and they found it at Mecca, and I'm pretty sure it was a Russian ship that took it to Antarctica. So I know what you're talking about, Lars. And Buzz Aldrin went down there, and he had a heart attack, and they had to medevac him, and he said there's great evil in Antarctica. Well, what does the Bible say? Men's hearts will fail them, and Buzz Aldrin, his heart failed him.
Humanity once again. His return will bring about 2 different eternities, one with God and one without him. This truth is explained in 2 verses in the book of Malachi. The verses describe a day that is coming, where the arrogant and evildoers will be punished and set on fire, leaving nothing behind. However, for those who revere God's name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing, and they will be able to go out and enjoy life abundantly. The message then discusses what will happen when Jesus returns. Evil will be defeated, the earth will be restored, and God will ultimately win. The response to Jesus' return depends on one's relationship with him. It can either be seen as the greatest calamity in human history or the fulfillment of the blessed hope, depending on one's faith in Christ. The message also mentions a treasure guarded by a giant snake and the path to it being covered due to past wars and conflicts. The message then brings up a hadith that talks about 3 individuals fighting for the treasure and failing to obtain it. It also mentions black flags appearing from the east, causing unprecedented killings. The messenger then mentions pledging allegiance to someone known as Al-Mahdi, the Caliph of Allah. The Quran is claimed to confirm that Muhammad is in hell. The message then transitions to discussing the contradictions found in Islam.
Yeah, I know about the Ark of Gabriel. I think they found it around 2018. Is that right, Vas? And they took it to Antarctica.
Stating that there are too many for it to be considered a letter written in the name of God. These contradictions contradict the doctrine of God's infallibility and show inconsistency in Allah's ways, disqualifying him as the Almighty God. Additionally, many teachings in the Quran are said to be based on pagan mythology, which is potentially dangerous when passed off as divinely inspired teachings. The Holy Bible is praised for warning about this danger before the coming of Islam. The message concludes with a prayer to God, acknowledging his power as the creator and sustainer of all things. It asks for healing, but also recognizes that everything works according to God's purpose. The prayer asks for increased trust and faith in God and ends with a plea for salvation through Jesus Christ.
Amen.
The video ends with a thank you for watching and a reminder to subscribe for more content.
Accept nothing, believe nobody, challenge everything.
BritBox. Watch with a free trial now.
14:15, which states, "Attention everyone. We should be concerned about the recent event related to the river of Euphrates, which has completely dried up. The 4 angels previously bound under the Euphrates River have been released to fulfill the divine purposes mentioned in the Holy Bible, specifically the book of Revelation. The Bible does mention 4 angels bound at the Euphrates River in the book of Revelation. The specific passage is Revelation 9:14-15, which states, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the
Okay,
great
Shawnee,
river
good night.
Euphrates.
God
And the
bless.
4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men." This passage is part of the description of the 6th trumpet judgment in the book of Revelation. In Revelation 9, the 6th trumpet judgment is described as the release of 4 angels who were bound at the Euphrates River. These angels were specifically prepared for an appointed time to carry out a specific task. The purpose of their release was to bring about a devastating judgment upon a 1/3 of humanity. Verse 16 goes on to describe an army of 200 million horsemen that is unleashed along with these angels. The description of this army is vivid, with the horses having heads like lions and fire, smoke, and brimstone coming out of their mouths. This army inflicts severe torment and destruction upon people during this period of judgment. It is important to note that the book of Revelation is highly symbolic and contains apocalyptic imagery. The specific meaning and interpretation of this passage have been debated among scholars and theologians. Various interpretations suggest that these 4 angels represent forces of destruction, demonic powers, or even specific nations or leaders. The Euphrates River is often associated with the region of ancient Babylon.
Or the 4 horsemen. They could represent the 4 horsemen as well.
Symbolizing spiritual and political powers opposed to God's kingdom. Ultimately, the book of Revelation should be approached with caution and studied with guidance from trusted biblical scholars and teachers to ensure a proper understanding of its symbolism and message. Dear brothers and sisters, take a moment to envision yourself in this intricate and enigmatic world we call home. Reflect on your current surroundings, feel the earth beneath your feet, and delve deep into your thoughts. In the depths of the earth, something strange and inexplicable is occurring, something that only the Bible can shed light upon. The Bible, the Word of God, provides glimpses into the mysterious events happening within the earth. It reminds us that our world is not all sunshine and rainbows, as there are hidden secrets in its underbelly, as described in Scripture. The book of Revelation, written by the Apostle John, mentions a bottomless pit, a disconcerting image that prompts us to ponder the existence of an underground kingdom, a vast void where spiritual entities and demonic armies are confined. These demonic beings are chained, awaiting the prophesied moment when the boundaries between our world and the spiritual realm will be shattered. When this happens, these confined entities will flood our world without restraint. Many shy away from discussing such profound topics, but the reality of the spiritual world is undeniable. There exists a vast and incomprehensible spiritual realm that coexists with our universe. Beings with wisdom and power beyond our understanding inhabit this realm. Outer space, too, is vast, and our knowledge of it is limited. Less than 5% of Earth's oceans have been explored, and we have only scratched the surface of outer space. Our knowledge is like a single thread in God's grand tapestry. Before we claim to have all the answers, we must remember that our understanding is merely a fragment of this infinite tapestry. The mystery of the spiritual world is profound and intricate, surpassing our tangible reality and challenging us to seek deeper knowledge. Dear friends, imagine the magnificent creation that exists both seen and unseen, as described in the Bible. In Isaiah 55, 8-9, we are reminded that God's thoughts and ways are higher than ours, just as the heavens are higher than the earth. The spiritual world is a reality that surpasses human understanding. While we may attempt to simplify spiritual complexities for our human minds, the Bible reminds us that there are mysteries hidden beneath our feet that go beyond our comprehension. In the book of Revelation, specifically in chapter 9, 1-3, there are descriptions of mysterious events that take place in the spiritual realm. These events include the imagery of a star falling from the sky and the opening of a bottomless pit. These intriguing elements capture our curiosity. However, our focus today will be on a specific element mentioned in Revelation 9:15. In this passage, the sixth angel sounds the trumpet, resulting in the release of 4 angels who were previously trapped in the depths of the great river Euphrates. This moment marks a crucial turning point in the book of Revelations. The first 4 trumpets were a call for repentance, offering people a chance to turn to God. However, the following trumpets bring harsher judgments for those who refuse to repent. In this context, the release of the 4 angels of the Euphrates is meant to fulfill a divine purpose. Although the exact nature of these angels is not explicitly defined, they serve a greater purpose. The Euphrates River holds symbolic significance throughout the Bible, being associated with important events and places such as the Garden of Eden, the first murder, and Babylon, which represented pride, rebellion, and idolatry. Additionally, the Euphrates River served as a strategic military asset. While the reasons for tying these angels to the Euphrates River are not clearly explained, these associations emphasize the historical and symbolic importance of this river in the biblical narrative. It reveals the depth of divine wisdom and reminds us that there are mysteries in the spiritual world that surpass our human understanding. This excerpt from Revelation 9:16-19 leads us to a deeper comprehension of spiritual warfare and the spiritual realm. The description of the knights in this passage is true.
Okay, that's enough of that one.
That this year has started off the way it has. And you know what's funny is I've noticed a lot of people are sort of not really aware of what's going on. The news doesn't always cover things like they used to back in the old days. And so a lot of Americans particularly are really, they know what's going on with Target stores and pronouns and diversity and all that stuff. But a lot of the things as far as what's going on in geopolitics around the world and warfare, global warfare, and the potential for war to spread, some people are even saying, are we nearing World War III? That's legitimate people asking those questions. So this year did start off, in fact, at midnight, at 12 o'clock sharp at midnight in Tel Aviv, rockets were flying from Hamas. That was the first big boom of 2024. Here's some video footage of that event. About, some say, 30 rockets flew across the border from Gaza. Now, if you've been following, these are people celebrating New Year's Eve, seeing midnight, they're all thinking this is fireworks and stuff. This is in Israel, but those little flashes were 2 rockets, and then now there's 2 more rockets flying from the Gaza region into Israel. And there's all kinds of footage of this because everybody had their cameras out, for New Year's Eve at 12:01. This is what was happening. You'd think that Hamas was, like if you see what's happening in Gaza, you think, where in the world are these guys hiding? Well, there's still tunnels and there's still work to be done. The Jews have not found all these launching locations in the Gaza region. I think a lot of people think Gaza's just leveled. There's no more Hamas, and all this stuff. But actually, this is midnight, New Year's Eve, just a few nights ago. And fortunately, Iron Dome did the trick. And a lot of these really didn't land. After the southern central Israel, all the sirens went off. It had intercepted most of the missiles. All the sirens were activated all over southern Israel, and people were in bunkers after that. But no injuries have been reported from this missile attack. But it did blow up some areas with people that were not there, so that's great. Nobody was hurt. Now, one of the problems, by the way, with Israel's Iron Dome, you can even see it when there's a flash of light in the sky. That means Iron Dome has taken out a rocket. It's really pretty high tech, the Iron Dome system. But they're working on another system I've shown you in previous prophecy updates, a laser system. The Iron Dome is very expensive to operate. Every time you have to shoot one of these, rockets out of the sky, it's, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. But their new technology is laser technology, and it's going to cost them $1.39 per shot to fire this laser. So if they get it to, they're saying it's close to operational, which is going to be helpful and save some money. But this is an incredible, really attack. And the world somehow thinks because Israel has the technology to defend herself from these rockets, 30 rockets flying over the sky into Israel, they think it's somehow unfair because the Jews have technology that shoots these rockets down. But what would we do as Americans if this happened, in Portland? We had rockets flying into Portland, 30 rockets on New Year's Eve. I'm pretty sure the United States would respond a lot more radically, but at least 20, but some say close to 30 rockets. Now, 30 is nothing. When I was in Israel with our last tour, we had 4,000 rockets from that same region fly over while we were in Israel, 4,000 rockets in 2 weeks. So that's just, there's a reason why Hamas is being taken out. Now, you might say, well, Brett, why are we talking so much about Israel? The prophecy update, Israel is the epicenter of Bible prophecy, and Jerusalem is the epicenter of all things Bible prophecy. So that's why we...
And if you're a preacher and you're not basing that, you don't know what you're talking about, because he's exactly right.
We really need to focus tonight on what's going on there. But all that to say,
in
fact, the Gaza Strip, this is still kind of the underground operations of Hamas that's still in action. That was boom number 1 in 2024, in the first seconds of the year. We saw that. The second big boom that happened was the assassination of senior officer Salah al-Ahuri, which he is one of the top senior leaders of Hamas, and he was feeling very safe there up in Beirut. On the second day, now this is day 2 of 2024. On the second day, a drone operated by, probably, they're not admitting this yet, It's kind of laughable that a precision-guided rocket hit this.
This goes for an hour, guys. I haven't got an hour left. Over an hour this goes for. So I might switch and find something that goes for 15 or 20 minutes, guys. Hang on. Okay, let's check out him. Hang on, guys. I'll save that for tomorrow. Hang on.
Are we going to bet our own eternal future on a false prophet? This silence spoke volumes to me. I knew I was into something really deep. I grew up in Morocco. I come from a religious family. My grandfather was a rabbi, so was his father and grandfather. It was less and less comfortable for Jews to live in Muslim countries, going to school and coming out, and there were some young Muslims waiting for us with sticks, and we had to fight our way home. I remember my father used to say, if you forget you're a Jew, they will remind you. I was 13 years old when we moved to Montreal, and it was when I was in college that my friends had a special interest in Eastern religion, I remember, and also in prophecies. And I remember one of my friends was going to Nostradamus prophecies, and I said, don't do that. Why would you go to Eastern?
Okay, looks like everyone's left, guys. There's no one watching. God bless.